And how about this win for Arkansas over Ole Miss? It was senior night, and Coach Sam Pittman had this tweet go, "Larry's back. Go Hogs. Hashtag turn the damn jukebox on." That's a great question. Who better to ask than the man who tweeted it himself, Coach Sam Pittman, kicking off our show today. Coach, give me the story about Larry the bowling ball.
Well, we got bowl eligible last year, and we sent our DFO down to go buy a bowling ball. And he calls me back. He said, "Man, they're expensive." And I'm like, "What'd you go down there with, a $10 bill, you know?" And so I said, "Well, go to the Ozark bowling lane and see if they got any used balls." So he goes down. He paid $20 cash. And he comes back. It's a black Columbia ball, and it has the name Larry on it. And I said, "That is so perfect." And so last year, when we got bowl eligible, I said, "Hey, where's Larry?" And all the guys are looking around going, "Who's Larry?" You know, and then the bowling ball's name's Larry, and he's got his own Twitter account. He's pretty popular around here, but every year. And then this year we got a new carrying case for Larry, a 1980s vintage bowling ball carrying case. So it's a lot of fun. You know, that's not our only goal, but it's one of them, and we're going to celebrate it when we get bowl eligible here, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because we just showed the video that the social media folks put together. You look good there bowling the bowling ball. When's the last time you bowled?
It's been a while. You know, I'm not quite as young. You know, when you get down there, it's a little harder to get up. You know, but I think I've bowled a couple strikes over the last 2 years. Isaiah Nichols had his legs apart between the two guys, and I went between them. So I think I would have
hit your target. Nice.
I got 6 or 7 pins at least.
Well, Coach, I was hoping we'd see Larry a couple weeks ago when we were there to call your game. Your team has had some ups and downs this season, all the ebbs and flows. How have you handled all of that? How's the team handled all of that?
Well, it's hard. You know, obviously as a leader, you've got to flush things and go on to the next one. You have no choice. You can either feel sorry for yourself or you can pick yourself up, and it's sort of like life, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's hard. You know, we've had a lot of injuries. We haven't had our quarterback, you know, healthy the last 2 of the 3 games and didn't play at all against LSU. But it makes other parts of the team a little bit better, a little bit stronger. I think our defense played well against LSU. We didn't have KJ, and same thing. They played well against Liberty, but we had a KJ that hadn't practiced all week. I'm not making excuses. Those teams beat us, but we've had a lot of injuries in the secondary. It's just a year that was different than a year ago when we got to 9 and 8 regular season games. We've just had a lot of injuries, and we've got a good schedule, you know, and so. I'm proud of where that we bounced back against a really fine Ole Miss team, and hopefully we can go play well against a really tough, physical Missouri team.
Coach, you mentioned it's hard. We were talking about this earlier, just when you get to November, how difficult it is to win a game, particularly in conference. How do you describe what it's like this time of year to go and have to win an SEC game? Just not only with what you're talking about injury-wise, but just being able to be competitive this time of year after all you've gone through to get to this point.
I think injuries have a lot to do with it. You know, now with the portal, you know, things of that nature, kids are thinking, well, am I going to come back? Am I leave it? I mean, there's a lot of things that go on as you get closer to the end. I'm sure it's that way in high school and everything, but it's hard to go on the road and win, as we saw this weekend. A lot of really fine football teams won and a lot of lost, you know, this weekend. And certainly I don't think you could imagine the Ole Miss game that we had going the way it went. It just, you know, they had turnovers and we didn't. And so it is hard. It's difficult with injuries, with portal, with, you know, whom you're playing, where you're going to. But you just stay the course. I think tough teams find a way in November to win. I know also good teams do, but I think there's a lot to be said about toughness. And I think in November, the tough teams a lot of times will win.
Especially in Fayetteville. That's just a tough place to play and something you guys have built in over the course of the last couple of years. I want to go back, and it's easy for us to say KJ Jefferson was big. It's easy for us to say Rocket Sanders was amazing, which he was, continued to have a lot of success. But I love hearing from coaches of what kind of unsung heroes do the public didn't know about in this game that made it turn out to be such a blowout?
Well, I think Trey Knox, our tight end, caught some really tough catches there early in the game. Matt Landers has continued to come on, made a couple of really nice touchdown grabs. On defense, it's been our D-line, the improvement of our defensive line with Landon Jackson, Isaiah Nichols, Terry Hampton. I could keep going on, but Jashad Stewart, those guys have done a really good job. Zach Williams have done a really good job. We're playing a lot better up there. Obviously, everybody knows about Drew Sanders. He's done a good job, but Chris Paul at linebacker played a really, really good game. And of course, we've got our young freshman Quincy McAdoo at corner, who's started about 3 games ago. That has blocked punts, picked passes, is doing a really good job for her. You don't really hear about those guys a lot, but they played a really good ball game the other night.
Coach, it was the last home game, and as is the case every year for every college team, you celebrate the senior class. And I imagine every senior class means something different. What did this particular senior class mean to you, and what was that like having to celebrate those guys and then kind of turn the focus to playing an important conference game?
Yeah, last year we had 19 super seniors, so that's 19 plus whatever, plus the seniors, regular seniors. This year we had 3. They were scholarship. We had a scholarship on this year, where last year they were just basically free, didn't count towards the 85. So it was a little bit different. We had a few more portal guys that were seniors as well. So this team is totally different. It's been a little bit harder year, just simply because it's a different football team and the injuries and the getting together and all those things. But I will say this. Bumper Pool, Dalton Wagner, obviously Dorian Gerald, those 3 guys that came back for an extra year to get bowl eligible for those kids, and the regular senior class was huge. You don't want kids to come back and then you don't at least get to go celebrate with a bowl. And I was really happy for all those guys.
I was hoping you were going to say they created a rule that Bumper Pool can play forever and just be a 20th year senior.
I think old Bump's body is feeling this extra year. I tell you what, he's tougher than a nail, and he's been fighting it just to stay on the field, and he's continued to do that. But I love him and his family and all the kids on the team, certainly. But his family, his sister works here, and his brother worked in the equipment room, and certainly he's worked his butt off out there on the field.
Okay, let's get to the most important part of the conversation here. A couple of weeks ago, you threatened to join me at Herman's and have some cold beer with me, and it didn't work out. Now, this is the best eating week of the year. What happens at the Pittman's house in a couple of days? I love
people, but I love when my wife and I have Thanksgiving alone. I do, and I don't want I just made my mother and father-in-law mad at me. I didn't mean that, but that's not good. But I love when she cooks and we sit around and visit and talk to each other about what we're thankful for and all that. I just love that time, and we'll be able to have that on Wednesday this year. Our kids will be out of here around noon, and they'll be going to different coaches' houses and friends' houses, and I'm gonna go home and have that special time. I really do. I enjoy having that at home with Jamie.
What are you thankful for, Coach?
Oh man, thankful to be the head coach at Arkansas. Thankful I got a beautiful wife for 36 years. The Lord's been good to me. I got a great life, and very, very honored and blessed that I have some wonderful friends, and and my health. And now I don't think I'm a picture of health, but I'm in good health. Let's say that. And I'm just really grateful for everything that's happened in my life. I really, really am.
Coach, this is an interesting time of year with the holidays kind of interrupting the end of the season. You play on a short week. You're going on the road. You're having to play against a Missouri team that's in the same position that you were in this week, trying to get bowl eligible. What are some of the challenges that you and your team will have to navigate to make sure that you're dialed in for Friday's game?
Well, I think you have to play the game with emotion, and you've got to find reasons. Some guys just have it out of pride, for respect. Some guys need reasons. We talked about some of the reasons that we need to go and play well at Missouri. Some of them is for bowl, where we're going to go in a bowl. Some of them we haven't beat Missouri at Missouri since we've joined the SEC. And we've got the trophy that we play for. There's a lot of reasons, but we had a really good practice last night. We did a year ago as well. Had a really good practice last night, and then Monday, Tuesday will be normal, but it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday practice. Mm-hmm. And so I think the key is to start. It's sort of like a 2-minute drive. The first play to me is kind of the key of if you're going to have success in 2 minutes or not. Mm-hmm. And on a short week, to me, the first practice is kind of a key on what's coming down the line for the week. And we certainly started well last night.
And we'll see that game coming up. Arkansas and Missouri coming up this week. Best of luck to you guys. And last question here. You're probably our number one draft pick when it comes to who we'd want to spend Thanksgiving Day with. Which one of the other coaches, if you said, hey, listen, games are off this weekend, I'm going to call one other coach, and I know that we're going to have a great Thanksgiving, who you calling and why?
I'm going to call Mark Stoops because I just respect the hell out of the guy. I mean, I like him. He's tough. He's a heck of a coach. I'd like to just go sit down and have an old cold beer with him and visit with him a little bit.
Hey, speaking of that, you know the broadcasters well. I heard after the game you invited Tom and Cole and Jordan over, but you know those guys. You told them to bring their own beer, man. I mean, is that the reputation they've gained, is coming over empty-handed?
Well, you guys know them better than I do, but I'm looking around and I'm looking at some freeloaders, We ain't doing all that. You guys, if you want to come, you got to bring a little something.
That's right,
man.
I love it. Jordan only has to do his post, and he'll get something and probably flown in over there. Hey, Coach, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and your team, and best of luck.
See ya.
There it is, Coach Sam Pittman joining us here on SEC this morning. That's cool. A shout out to Mark Stoops and saying, just the level of respect that these guys have. We all think as fan bases, oh man, this guy can't stand this guy, when they're in such close circles to each other the majority of the time.
I think the other thing that's cool too, and maybe people don't really realize this, but like having Thanksgiving during the season, a lot of these players don't get a chance to go home, and how important it is for them to have their family, the coaches, the opportunity to go to their position coach's house. I know it'll be different with them traveling and stuff, but it is a really difficult time for players not having the chance to be in a typical family setting with the holidays rolling up.
You play college or professional football, those dates are basically gone. Mm-hmm. They really are. But you also create that kind of family environment with your team, and they'll certainly do that, I'm sure, at some point this week or maybe afterwards. And for those that watch those 10, 12 minutes and think, gosh, I'd love to hang out with that guy, I can confirm that's how it is with him all the time. That is the human being he is at all times. And as much as Arkansas people have grown to love Sam Pittman, Georgia people still do, North Carolina people still do, all the other places he's been, they still feel the same way about him, because that's how he treats people all the time.
Yeah, genuine, and there's transparency there. And I think if we asked across the college football world, who would you most want to hang out with on Thanksgiving, Sam Pittman's going to be pretty high on that list. And let's spin this forward, because a game that you and I both had a pretty good gut feeling on our second down was Arkansas defeating Ole Miss. How much a surprise on the way they did it was that win.
What part do you feel like was surprising the most? Because they gave up 700 yards offensively to Ole Miss. What was the most surprising part to you?
Just in the fact that they scored 35 points in that first half. I mean, this from the get-go was Rocket Sanders. It was the crowd was rocking.
Not from the get-go. The get-go was KJ Jefferson. The get-go was throwing the ball down the field to Matt Landers down in the red zone. Then they got the lead, and kind of the same way we talk about with South Carolina and Tennessee. Instead of Tennessee playing from behind, it was Ole Miss that was having to play from behind. And it's funny to say this. Credit the defense, who did give up over 700 yards, but they did two things. They created 3 turnovers, and they got red zone stops. In 5 red zone trips, they only allowed 16 points for Ole Miss's offense, whereas when Arkansas got down there 4 times, they scored touchdowns on all of them. So that's a 28-16 differential in that part of the field, which, again, playing defense in this day and age of college football is much different. Unless you're Georgia, it's much different than the old days.
It's not locked down 9-6 LSU, Alabama in the early 2010s. It is complementary defense, and that's what the Razorbacks played.
But you're right, though. Rocket Sanders was fantastic. I mean, we had 3 guys in that game go over 200 yards. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before.
Yeah, because you had Zach Evans and Quinshawn both go for over 200 as well, too. First time in SEC history that's ever been done. But now Ole Miss has lost 2 games in a row and then find themselves, of course, in that rivalry game against Mississippi State.
Difficult challenge ahead of us. Obviously, rivalry week. In a game, the Battle Line Trophy versus Arkansas, and we need a big home field advantage. And our student section has been that for us. And I know they're on Thanksgiving break, but don't eat too much turkey. Get over the tryptophan. Get here for Friday's game, and let's make sure that our student section is rocking, that we're loud on third downs, and we give our team a huge advantage with the environment that we play in. Obviously, Coach Pittman's done an excellent job at the University of Arkansas, and they've got a really good football team. They've had a lot of consistency in their coordinators. Obviously, they've maintained the same 3 coordinators for 3 seasons. You can tell that they play fast within their schemes. Offensively, their quarterback is the engine that makes them go. Obviously, this will be the 3rd time that we've played against him. Golly, I hope he's graduating or going pro or something. Holy cow, he's an unbelievable player. Is able to really throw the football extremely well. He's a physical runner, but I think the thing that separates him is his ability to read defenses, and then even when protection breaks down, make the first defender miss, whether they're on him or not, and then extend plays. The play he made against BYU before half that led to a touchdown drive is as special a play as you can make as a quarterback, and just have a lot of respect for KJ as a player, and know that he's also a young man of high character. So going to be a very difficult challenge for our defense. Yeah, the only thing we're focused on is it's a rivalry game and it's trophy week, and that's it. None of the other stuff matters. The most important thing to us is that they have a trophy and we want it, and the only way to get it is to play our best game, and to prepare the way that we know how to prepare, and to play with unbelievable effort.
KJ, you've seen him a lot. What does he do that gives teams the most trouble?
Well, I think everybody undervalues his ability to throw the football. He's very accurate. He reads defenses really well. But the thing that makes him special is that he creates with his feet. He's able to, call a normal pass play. It's not there, even if protection breaks down and somebody gets to him, to shed that defender and then go get the first down. Very similar to Hendon Hooker and what he was able to do against us. There were several times that we had, a free defender on him, and he was able to shake him off and then go get extra yardage. And that's the guy you're counting on making the tackle. So, that's probably his secret weapon.
Our rival. Very excited to go to Columbia. We haven't beat them there ever since we've been in the SEC. So that would, obviously there's challenges there. They're playing extremely well. Very good defensive football team. They're going to make you throw the football. They're going to outnumber you in the box and make you throw the football. Their front 4, really their entire defense, they've got really good corners, so they're able to play man and one high safety. Very aggressive, very physical. they've done a really good job. Defensively is changed tremendously this year, and they're playing great. Offensively, they're known for a big physical offensive line. They love to run the stretch play. They run it well. Their quarterback now is running the ball a lot more than he did earlier in the year, and running it well. And then I really like their wide receiver group. Very, very talented. Can catch one-on-one passes, and so Missouri, obviously they've a little bit like us. They've lost some very close games to put them where they are record-wise, very similar to ours. I know they're going to be fired up to get bowl eligibility. And again, like I said, we haven't won up there. So a lot of things for us to play for, too, to continue to rise. So our bowl eligibility opens up more bowls for us. KJ was best I've seen him on a Sunday in a long time. I think the game helped him. I think he has a lot better in him than even what he played. Actually, that's what he said. And Dalton, we were smart with him at practice, but he did practice and practiced the majority of it. So I think those two are going to be ready to go. I know KJ, for sure, and Dalton we'll see, but really we came out of the game fairly healthy. JD's got a little ankle, Dominic. But other than that, I think we came out really healthy out of this game.
It seems like something similar happened in Fayetteville, where Ole Miss is coming off of a brutal loss, and they're nowhere to be found in the first half.
It's interesting because you look at them and you say, wow, all right, if we just go to the box score, 700 yards of total offense. Whoa, all right, 2 backs over 200 yards on the ground. But then let's get to the important stuff. 2 touchdowns called back for penalties. 12 total penalties for 116 yards, and they turn the ball over 3 times. Arkansas doesn't turn it over at all. So statistically, you can amass all of these yards all you want. You play poorly in the red zone. You have touchdowns called back to penalties. There's probably a pretty good chance you're going to lose. And when you're playing on the road, that place is a deceptively hard place to play, in my opinion. And I don't think it gets enough credit. I think you have to combine that with a football team right now that is hearing a lot of clutter. What's going on with our head coach? What's going on with another opening job? What's going on with all of this internet chatter? And, again, you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old kids, and stuff starts to seep in. You take that, combine it with the miscues during the game, and then I think sometimes, too, a team can play a game, and everything just clicks, and all of a sudden it lights a fuse, and you just start escalating, Sometimes you can play a game and get and go down to the wire, and you lose a heartbreaker like the Alabama game, and it's hard sometimes to get past it. It's almost like, okay, you always hear the phrase, don't let Alabama beat us twice. Don't let Alabama beat us 3 times. I kind of feel like that with some of the distractions and then just not playing well. It wasn't like they weren't prepared. They were moving the ball up and down the field. Couldn't stop the run, and they had a bunch of self-inflicted wounds.
Break out the most famous bowling ball on the entire planet as Arkansas scored 35 points in the first half against Ole Miss. Rocket Sanders becoming just the second Arkansas player in the past 25 seasons to have 200 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns against a ranked opponent. The last guy to do that, by the way, Darren McFadden in 2007.
KJ was best I've seen him on a Sunday in a long time. I think the game helped him. I think he has a lot better in him than even what he played. Actually, that's what he said.
Obviously, discouraging outcome in the game. We did not play well really at all on defense in any phase. Offensively, we had a lot of yards, but didn't finish drives in the red zone and have 3 turnovers. So it's just a reminder of stats that are important. that you can be plus 200 yards in a game over the opponent. What's most important, which would be scoring in the red zone, which I think they will.
All right, time now for a segment we do every single week, our weekend final word. For us, the one word that summarizes something we saw this past weekend, and I'm going to go first because it plays perfectly off of what we just saw, and my weekend final word is Larry. That's right, the name of that bowling ball, in case you didn't know who that was, Roman Harper, Larry is a celebrity around those parts out there in Fayetteville, Arkansas. How about this Arkansas team? They've been beat up, dealing with health issues throughout the season, becoming bowl eligible yet again under Sam Pittman. We're talking about a team that had 3 ranked non-conference games this year. What does that mean? That means you can't always rest your starters in those games, unlike other teams across the SEC who had slightly easier non-conference games. Arkansas has been playing those starters, playing those guys all year long. They make it to 6 wins. They're making it to the postseason, an opportunity to add another win this upcoming weekend. I think what Arkansas has done this year, despite that tough schedule, has been really important. So shout out to Larry. Stinch, what do you have for your weekend final word?
Larry. God, what a great bowling ball name. If you're going to name your bowling ball, it should be Larry.
All right, let's get to second down. Is Missouri seeking a little bowl eligibility against the Arkansas Razorbacks, something the Razorbacks had last week?
This is cool. We don't come on Fridays and get to talk game day much, but we got 2 of them here in the conference.
And Florida State, we'll get to that one in a little bit. What excites you about this game? What do you want to see in it?
I think Missouri trying to get to bowl eligibility. We saw Arkansas last week clinch their spot to play in the postseason. It does create a little sense of urgency. Sam Pittman was on our show on Monday and mentioned that they had not won in Columbia, Missouri since Missouri's joined the SEC. So trying to check off that box as well. But this has been quite a fun rivalry. I think that's developed as they've built this up, the little border war there. But I think that the biggest thing for me is Missouri needing to get postseason eligible, to get those extra practices to continue to evolve. I think they're a team that's gotten better with a lot of young people getting an opportunity to play and contribute a lot this season. So getting those 15 bowl practices, getting a chance to play one more game can really benefit them next year.
And I look at this right now, it's a Battle Line rivalry, or the Battle Line Trophy is what they play for. I kind of lean towards Missouri in this one because I know that it has been a hard hell of a couple of games for the Arkansas Razorbacks, some emotional games, but to go on the road now in that final game. And I think they're going to go against one of the most improved run defenses that we've seen in the country. Had this game been played last year, I'm all on for Arkansas and the job that Rocket Sanders and this offensive line have done. But now I kind of like Coach Drink.
Can you tell me the health of KJ Jefferson? Give me like a percentage. I mean, that's really the bottom line. They go as KJ Jefferson goes. So if he's 100%, if he's able to run the football in addition to making some of the plays, throwing it he's made when he's healthy, I think they could easily go on the road and win this game.
As long as he's 75%, I think that's good enough for KJ Jefferson because of not only the leadership on the field, but just kind of who he is in that hunt.
It is gorgeous here this afternoon for college football.
There were a number of folks here at the stadium who said if we can bring this weather all the time, they'd have us every weekend. Yeah, they're excited about this balmy day here in Como, as they call it.
All right, Arkansas will get the football to begin, and here we go. And it's going to be out of the back of the end zone. You always try to build up the kickoff, and then there's not a whole lot going on afterward. Nathaniel Pete in for the first time in the backfield for Mizzou. And he'll take the handoff, nothing there. They're down in a little less than 7.
Looking over to the sideline to get a call.
Play clock was down to 5. Pressure's coming. Cook directing traffic, still doing that. Throws on the run, incomplete.
You can see here, he's looking to try to get a receiver right here open. That would have been Barrett Bannister. The expectation that he would have come out of that break, given the relationship that Cook and Bannister had.
Well, I think a lot of people got ham yesterday. They got ham, they got turkey, they got everything else.
Him bringing a grease board to get all his notes.
Yeah. Here's Jefferson, he'll keep it himself. And Jefferson dives.
First in the country, but that inner group understands run defense.
That's second down at 7. Sanders cuts back, and Sanders is able to slide his way across the 45 for a first down. Already 5 carries, 46 yards for him. Jefferson has time. Near sideline, pass is complete inside the 35-yard line of Landers, and Landers makes a couple of people miss before he's taken down at the 17.
It's beautiful by K.J. Jefferson surveying the field. You're going to see him looking down here, and right here he finds Matt Landers late. He's absolutely getting through the reads right now. Really fun to watch him play.
Jefferson will keep it himself. A little quarterback keep. He's following the block of Rocket Sanders, and both lower their shoulder. Carlisle gets him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 11 yards. It'll be first and goal. Rocket Sanders in motion. Jefferson, he'll keep it. He goes right up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Beautiful little scheme. And like Moses, it parted. Little zone crease right there. Touchdown, KJ.
Including this pass to Landers and this run after the catch to set up the quarterback scamper. They have this really good freshman in Sam Horn who got some time last week. Top 2:56 to play here in the first quarter. Schrader powers his way across the goal line. He has not thrown a 300-yard game so far this year. I'm not saying he's going to do it here, but Schrader hit at the line of scrimmage. Brady Cook, we said he's figured something out, and it's got them into the end zone.
And he'll be around that edge as that guy gets a little, what we call feisty.
And by the way, A.J. Green continues in the backfield. Jefferson like keeping himself, yep. And he gets across the 35. Transferred in 2019 from Notre Dame. Another quick toss, pass is complete on the near side. And that's Keytron Jackson.
Blake Baker again, position man. He's the sixth man, plays all along that front.
So second down, pressure's coming again. And Jefferson's able to break away. He's got such a big body, and he dumps it off. And it's going to be a first down.
If anybody wants to know why 240-pound, 250-pound men play quarterback, watch this play. Just get out of jail free, right? And make a play.
I would think yesterday was called quite often. On second and 13, Jefferson will keep it himself. And Jefferson lowers his shoulder. We talked about that in the open, down to the 34.
Still have time to make these checks.
Knox lined up in the backfield. They loft it toward the end zone, and it's... Who got it? They're tied up. It's a touchdown. Landers is going to get credited with the score for the Razorbacks.
When you're working for the Phillies, it's tie goes to the runner. This is what we call a simultaneous catch. This game with over 700 yards.
Completed for a touchdown.
Came into this game with over 700 yards receiving, but has been absolutely a big-time player for this Arkansas Razorback offense.
Look at that right there, Rick, huh? He agreed with what you said, Rick, about the simultaneous catch. But then he also said this camera shot right here shows Landers really did have two hands with 2 feet in.
Yeah, had it before it became simultaneous. But just like baseball, where tie goes to the runner, if they both catch it at the same time, the tie goes to the offensive player. Great job.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, Blake Baker went an all-out, this was zero coverage, meaning zero safeties.
For the 25-yard line, Schrader was the decoy, and the pass was deflected at the line of scrimmage.
P.O. He's got it. Oh, that's just a heck of a play. Was that Sanders?
That was Sanders.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it was Clark.
Hudson Clark, great play.
Saw the 7
before the play's allowed.
And it leaves just 5 seconds on the play clock. Love it. Won't get anything. He stopped at the line of scrimmage. Schrader's at the bottom of your screen, number 20. Cook's going to keep it himself, and nothing doing. That was read perfectly. Chris Paul getting the start for the great Bumper Pool tackle.
Let's get well soon to Bumper Pool. What a great Arkansas Razorback he has been.
Yeah, the mascots know it's going to take more than one to move that away. For Arkansas. On second down, Jefferson, quick slant. Pass is complete. He got Landers again after the drop, which is, I think, smart. Showing a little blitz. Here they come. Jefferson will run it, and he's got a first down inside Missouri territory. And don't tell him to slide. Yeah. Interesting formation defensively. Jefferson off the play fake, dumps it off. Hazelwood's got it first down, and Hazelwood inside the 25-yard line. They gave it 21 yards on the pass play. They hand it off. Dubinion, the freshman, and he gets down close to.
Oftentimes they're bringing that so they can take the inside linebacker and scrape him outside, but he's big enough to take on any linebacker.
Here's Sanders at the goal line, and he makes the reception in for the score. Razorbacks on the board again. It's a 7-yard touchdown pass. We're tied up at 20.
He's going to push. He's going to push that ball to the sideline so that no Missouri defender can be involved.
Well, another lead change. Arkansas on top 21-20 with 1:35 to play. So 11 plays on that drive, 5 first downs. And Sanders with the touchdown reception. Yeah, because they have an excellent place kicker, and he can kick it from long range. Ball is batted at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Sanders who got his hand on it.
On a check down. And great job in that defensive front knocking the ball down.
Off the timeout. They give it to Schrader, and Schrader is met after a gain of 1. Chris Paul was one of the first ones there. We'll now send you Adam Zucker to the New York studio for the Geico halftime reports. In the first half, he's looking to throw on first down. He's looking long, looking to the middle of the field for Lovett, and it is broke it up, nearly intercepted.
This is what they call a 50-50 ball, and it was just that.
Boy, McGlothern nearly had it. Transfer from LSU.
And the other young man, Quincy McAdoo, who they moved over from wide receiver. He's got his man.
Yeah, Cook's going to throw again, and this time it's incomplete. Broke it up at the last moment. He didn't have a whole lot on that with Burden.
This is an underthrown ball that normally gets a call.
This was an important game each time he plays Mizzou to come back and coach against them. He told us, he said, listen, I'm going to coach again at some point. It's just going to be whether it's the right spot. It's Schrader in the backfield. That was Cooper that was in motion. Cook toward the back of the end zone, and it's picked off. Clark tried to shovel it as it goes out of bounds. Another score, this one to Burden. Burden, how about the athleticism to make a man miss, keep himself upright, and into the end zone. The all-veteran group of professional parachute team jumped before the ball game today. We tried to get Rick Neuheisel to do it, but he didn't want to get up that high. 100,000 free fall parachute jumps overall for the all-veteran group. Pretty cool to watch.
You know what? I would do it.
I figured you would do it.
I would do it.
Mm-hmm. There's a comparison of the two quarterbacks. They've been a focal point, obviously. Rocket Sanders in motion. Jefferson rolls the pocket on first down. Throws on the run. Pass is complete to Hazelwood.
They keep me up at night. There's no question about it.
3.5 to play. A little direct snap to Sanders. Excuse me, Dubinion. And Dubinion gets out of bounds at the 39. 51 is his long. Good snap. Good hole. Kick is on its way. End over ends. And it is good. It was actually impressive watching all the kickers in practice today. 5-point game. 29-24. 1:43 to play third quarter.
In just rare form.
Yeah, 360 total yards, which is a career high. He's going to be pressured here, trying to break away. Nothing doing. He is spun down. Jashad Stewart, the junior from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Almost first tackle for loss. Is certainly on first tackle for loss on Cook today.
Yeah, he just didn't see him. Yep, that's the first sack for Arkansas. Rocket Sanders has been held to 30 yards on the ground. He's going to run it here. Tries to break a tackle, and he does. He broke away from Williams, and he's inside the 20-yard line. Rakestraw will eventually be credited with the tackle.
That's a heck of a run and a heck of a read by Rocket Sanders.
Gain of 17 yards. Jefferson will keep it. Off the fake, and Jefferson has got a first down. There's a bump, too.
By virtue of that being a pass, Sam Pittman told Kendall, we're going to kick this.
Cam Little on for the field goal attempt. It's good.
Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game.
Second down, less than 10. Pressure's coming. Throws it to Schrader, and Schrader is snuffed out.
Does an awesome job. And listen, he's the only guy that can make the plays by himself. That's what you have to do to see through a 8-man drop.
It moves it back. It's second down at 17. And Cook has time. Middle of the field. It's deflected and nearly intercepted. Sanders got his hand on it.
Bring him exactly. See, looking now back. There was Sanders just following his eyes with him.
Dove in motion.
Man.
Cook dancing to the pocket, trying to break away. Got to be smart here. Yeah, he takes the sack. Sanders tracks him down for the near hash mark. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way. He's got plenty of leg, and it is no good. Off to the right. That's 2 straight 3-and-outs for Arkansas offensively. And you just mentioned you're okay with punting it here with this amount of time left.
Yeah, given the odds of the 4th and 8 situation, you've got to punt it.
Bauer with his 3rd punt. Burden says stay away. And it does take an Arkansas bounce out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 3rd down and 5. Cook's going to keep it himself. Cook trying to get toward midfield. He does, but he's 2 yards shy of a 1st down.
This is going to grow into something special.
All right, here's Stonehouse on for the punt. They come after him. He gets it off. It's going to bounce out of bounds. Oh, no, it goes to the end zone. Boy, I thought it went out of bounds. How about the right turn that ball took? They have 7 sacks today. Jefferson sets up underneath. Pass is caught by the tight end Knox. And Knox trying to get out of bounds. 7 seconds left.
First down. They'll stop the clock.
5 seconds left of Missouri. Jefferson, one last play. Steps up, throws it underneath. Hazelwood gets it to the tight end Knox. And that's going to do it. Missouri once again. Well, maybe it's not. It's picked up by Missouri. That will eventually do it. There is a flag on the field. There is a celebration going on while there's flags all over the place.
Coach
Illegal forward pass. Offense, number 7. The penalty is declined. The game is over.
So Sherry Burris, Gene Steratore, and our entire CBS crew. This is Tom McCarthy saying so long from Columbia, where the final score, it's Mizzou 29, Arkansas 27.
Arkansas, and Missouri. Mizzou a win away from bowl eligibility. They've beaten Arkansas the last 4 times they played them at home. They've won 6 of 8 overall against the Hogs since joining the SEC. And Brady Cook had a ball game. Cook to Dominic Lovett. That's a heck of a connection all day long.
That whole heck of a connection all season long.
Yeah, true. Good
One
point.
of the best connections in the conference.
And then Cody Schrader into the end zone for 6. Missouri takes the lead. 10-7 Tigers.
I really felt like this Arkansas defense had turned the corner here recently, but today some of the same things, inability to tackle.
You mean the 700 they gave up against Ole Miss led you to believe they'd turn the corner?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about that. I thought they turned the corner, though. They at least made some plays that created some turnovers.
Yeah.
Today they're giving up guys in the secondary wide open, but their offense kept them in, and KJ always does.
KJ always does. He finds Jaden Hazelwood there, and then Jefferson to Matt Landers, and look at that, just wrestling away from the defender.
KJ did a good job of just throwing the back shoulder fade. At least that's what I want to call it. But Matt Landers did an even better job of locating the ball, taking it in for the touchdown.
KJ threw for 205, 2 touchdowns and an interception. The story of the first half, Brady Cook, BC 12. He ran for 125 yards in the half.
And we talked about KJ Jefferson being a mobile quarterback. It was Brady Cook who won up to him today, particularly in the first half.
After a Harrison Mevis and Mudhead field goal, they were up by 6, and then KJ running on 3rd and 7. Later on, Jefferson to Rocket Sanders. Not a handoff, but a catch for Rocket.
Great play design, outflanked the linebacker. He couldn't get to him in the end zone for the touchdown.
And then, more Missouri. Love it.
How about the hands
Love it.
there? Tremendous catch, ball behind.
Lovett had 130 yards on 6 catches, and then into the end zone, Luther Burden, the freshman. Tigers go back in front, go for 2, don't get it, so it's a 5-point game now. KJ. Look at this play. Breaks away, and then look at that play.
He threw it late, didn't even see the defender coming across. It ended up with an interception.
Dalen Carnell with the interception, and eventually Fourth quarter, Hogs down. They trade field goals. Sanders, best run of the day, gets inside the 20. Later on, trying to drive it in. Second and goal. Trey Knox goes under center, gets stuffed. Next play, KJ on third down. That is incomplete. They settle for a field goal. They're down 2, 29-27. Now Missouri just trying to run out the clock, and on 3rd and 4, Cook to Mekhi Miller, 22 yards.
I thought the receivers from Missouri played well today. Several balls thrown to them, especially from behind, but they went up and made plays. No excuses.
Last chance for Arkansas, and it is not to be. And Missouri is bowl eligible.
It's been a hard-fought 12-round fight. I told him today, if we won the fight, go ahead and put that. Yes, sir. Hey, this is for you, man. Barrett Bannister. We did it. We did it.
We faced everything. I mean, we're battle tested. We've been through so much adversity. And like you said, we've lost so many close games. So this one's really sweet. This has a lot of meaning to our team right here. We finished strong. After the bye week, we knew what we needed to do. We needed to win 4 games. And we did it. So I'm just so proud of this team, so proud of the staff, everyone involved.
You were able to lead the guys ground arm. Just what has been different for you in these last few weeks?
I love you, Brady.
I'm just getting comfortable, and I'm just back to playing ball like I used to. Feel like a little kid again out here, just running around, making plays. So that's kind of my mindset right now.
Huge win for Missouri and a big-time performance for the quarterback, Brady Cook. He accounted for 380 yards of offense. Arkansas totaled 318 yards of offense. And Cook, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. And by the way, Rocket Sanders entered the day with a chance to win the SEC's, well, I guess we go through bowl season, take the lead on the final week of the regular season in the rushing title, but he had just 47 yards. So Quinshon Judkins continues to pad what is not a big lead. It's about 50 yards after he had 91 last night against Mississippi State. But let's look at this in general here. Brady Cook, let's start with him. What did he show you? Because I think over the course of the last few weeks, we've seen a little more.
First half of the season, he threw 6 interceptions. In the last half of the season, he's only thrown 1. In fact, he hadn't thrown an interception, including today, in 5 straight ball games. That was what was killing them. Early on, it was interceptions and pick sixes to compound things. But today, he showed that he's a capable passer and a really athletic runner when he needs to be as well. And he didn't put them in bad situations, which was the difference in the ball game today.
And then also from the turnover standpoint, early in the year when they got momentum and they started to make plays, and it was up to him in crunch time situations, more than one game earlier in the season, he would turn it over. Today, no turnovers from him. He played in an outstanding game, and as you heard his teammate come up to him after the game while he was doing the interview, I love you, Brady. Like, those are the little things that makes me, it makes me feel a little warm inside, and I'm happy for him because a lot of pressure was put on him, and he rose to the occasion and made plays when plays were needed to be made.
What if before the year I had said to you Missouri and Arkansas are going to end the regular season with the same record? Would that have been anything?
I wasn't on the – you were on the Arkansas
train.
I was not on the Arkansas train given what they had lost, but I honestly believed that they would probably finish ahead of Missouri, and I didn't have Arkansas at 500. I mean, this has been a often criticized coaching staff by the Arkansas fan base. I love Sam Pittman, but I think there are some people that are going to be calling for some sort of changes to be made on the staff and trying to upgrade that defense, which was really a letdown this year after surprisingly being the foundation of this Arkansas team in the first 2 years Pittman had been there.
Yeah, but going back to Missouri, just even talking about the defensive side, what Blake Baker has been able to do, I thought he has perfect timing with all of his blitzes. You can tell he's very astute, understanding film study, but it's not so much what he knows, but it's what his players know. He teaches them, okay, guys, when they get in certain areas of the field, expect these certain blitzes to come out. Today they ended up with they pretty much dominated them across the board.
Yeah.
So many sacks, I can't even.
They had 7.
7 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, so that was huge.
The 7 sacks, by the way, from Missouri matches their most against a conference opponent since they joined the SEC. I mean, that's a big number for a defense that's been getting it done virtually all season long. I mean, you take out that Tennessee game, and
That's been
quite an upgrade from last year. As bad as they were, we mocked them week in and week out last year, or how bad they were against the run.
No question about it. Congratulations, Mizzou. They are bowl eligible.